Hi there, my name is Henry Tenby with JetFlix TV. I'm at the Vancouver International Airport. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the 19th, Tuesday the 19th of November. And behind me right here, we have an Amazon Boeing 767 freighter. And at 1:30, sometime after 1 o'clock in the morning, very early this morning, last night, the aircraft ran off the runway, left the runway, and the nose collapsed into the soft field, as you can see there. And it was just a cargo flight. Of course, there was no injuries, but what they've done as a result of this is they've had to close this north runway. So 0826 on the north side is not in operation today. They've got all the air traffic for the airport operating out of the south runway, the 0826. They're actually on 08 today, all of today. I've been checking, and it's been a 08 operation. So all landings and takeoffs are from the south side. I always like to do a historical perspective when I report on interesting events like this at the airport, and I do have something quite interesting to share with you. First, I just want to give you a little bit of a visual as to what's going on here. As you can see, the airplane well, it's quite at the end of the runway, which is quite strange. I'm wondering if the gear collapsed on landing or if it collapsed during the rollout. Hard to say, but you can see there's a lot of dirt and debris on the back of the airplane. Look at that, a lot of dirt there. A lot of dirt was sucked into the engine. The top of the wing surface, as you can see, is covered with debris. If we have a look even further in, look at the landing gear. They appear to be sunk into the ground right to the halfway point on the main gear, and it looks like the engines are sitting on the ground. So I think it's going to be a while for them to extricate the aircraft from this situation. Probably a good couple days is what I'm seeing here. And I guess, I'm not sure if they've removed the packages. I guess that's a secondary concern right now. And yeah, it's quite a mess. I would say the aircraft's not a write-off. I doubt it's a write-off, but obviously it's going to necessitate some fairly costly repairs. The whole main gear appears to have either folded back or been removed from the aircraft. Last night, it was around 0 degrees Celsius, and there was a number of thunderstorms that resulted in a lot of hail and light snow accumulation. So I'm suspecting that there was a hail and snow accumulation on the runway surface when this aircraft came in, and the result is the aircraft, well, we'll have to read the accident report in due course, but obviously the aircraft was not able to slow itself down adequately, and they ended off at the far end of the runway. It was, I guess, a 08 operation last night, and they must have come barreling down the runway, all whatever it is, 10,000 feet of it, to end up here. So yeah, absolutely fascinating to see this situation here at Vancouver. As a matter of fact, you can see there's still a little bit of snow accumulation on the mountain. The mountains have snow, and down here at sea level there was snow and ice and hail accumulation as well. So it's just interesting. As I say, I've been a spotter here at this airport my entire life. So I'm 60 years old, so I've been spotting here for the good, 50 odd years, and I've never seen an aircraft that this has happened to, but it has happened before, and I'll share some of that information with you. I am going by memory, but I do know that back in the 1980s, CP Air ran a Douglas DC-10 off the south runway. And I can't remember the details. Obviously, the aircraft was returned to service. It wasn't a write-off, but that was probably circa 1982-83. And I believe CP Air might have also ran a 747 off the runway. Or maybe it taxied off the runway. I can't quite remember. So it has happened here before. But there was one very, very notable runway aircraft departing the runway here at Vancouver, and I have a family historical memory connection to that event, which I'll share with you. It was in 1967, and at the time, Canadian Pacific Airlines was operating a leased Boeing 707-138B whilst they were awaiting DC-8 stretch deliveries from Douglas, Long Beach. This aircraft was being crewed by, it was a wet lease operation from the US operator, which was Standard Airways, and Canadian Pacific Airlines had the airplane painted in Canadian Pacific Airlines colors, and it was operating a Vancouver, Honolulu, back to Vancouver sched service, and it was during quite bad weather here in Vancouver. The airplane was inbound from Hawaii, the 707, and it landed on 08. Similar situation. The aircraft skidded off the runway, and it actually ended up spun around tail to front, and ended up on the main ramp at what's the present day South Terminal. And there was I believe 1 or 2 fatalities. I'll have to check the records on it. I believe somebody on the ground and possibly one of the flight attendants was either injured. Quite a serious accident. Luckily, there were no passenger injuries, but my family connection to that particular event involves my father, the late Dr. Lionel Tenby. My dad was a doctor on call at the Richmond General Hospital, which is situated just a few kilometers from where we're standing. And when the aircraft had that accident, he was on duty. He tended to people that were brought to Richmond General from that accident. That was quite a major piece of Vancouver Airport's history. The Canadian Pacific Airlines 707 was a write-off, completely written off. The nose was completely destroyed because it struck a building maintenance shed at the South Terminal, or adjacent to the South Terminal. So yes, that aircraft was a write-off. This aircraft, there's a lot of damage to it. We've got engine damage, I can see. There's a lot of debris that's been sucked up into the engines and on top of the wing surface. We've got a main front gear, which has very, very extensive damage to it. But there's definitely many millions of dollars of damage on this aircraft. Who knows how long it will take for them to actually move the aircraft? My guess, the end of the weekend. So I'm probably going to say 3 or 4 days for them to have this airplane out of here. They're going to probably have to involve Boeing on how to safely remove the aircraft and minimize the damage. And I'm guessing they're going to take the aircraft over to here, to Air Canada. They've got the largest, the closest hangar facility here at YVR that would be suitable to effect repairs on this aircraft. As you can see, it's still pretty cool here today in Vancouver. The mountains do have, you can see the snow line actually. I guess it's about 2,000 feet, about halfway up the mountain there. We've got a snow line. And yeah, what a unique sight this is. Amazon Prime 767-300 freighter. And yeah, lots of discussions going on. But yeah, I doubt that they have actually removed the packages. That would be the last thing that they're thinking about right now, is package removal. But yeah, look at those engines. This is quite something. Quite something. I'm going to go for a walk around to see if I can get a forward view of the aircraft, to see what that looks like. But look at all the dirt on the wing surface there. That is quite something. Quite something. The back of the aircraft is covered in mud as well. Of course, this is the Templeton Road. There's quite a lot of people coming out here to check out the airplane, see what's going on here. Wow, what a mess. What a mess. Holy moly. A lot of debris on the wing surface here. They've obviously got ground power hooked up to the aircraft. The APU is running. Wow. Incredible. Yeah. As I say, they've got the APU running, ladder up to the aircraft. Well, the engines didn't strike the ground. That's a blessing, I'd say. That's a major blessing. And maybe the main gear is just buried in the dirt. Maybe it did not rip off, which would be good news for the aircraft as well. Definitely that would be a minimal situation compared to if the main gear was ripped off. And I think it didn't rip from the aircraft. I think it's just submerged in mud because the main gear doors are actually intact, so that's a good thing. Yeah, you can see the main gear doors are completely intact. So I think the front gear is there and it's just submerged in mud. What a view. Yeah, what a view. Look at the differential on the spoilers. The spoiler on the left side of the frame is not, it's at a different deflection level than on the right hand side. I spoke to a friend of mine who's an aircraft maintenance engineer, and he said that ingested debris in the engines would be very costly. He said it looks like the engine cowl is badly damaged, and as for the gear, the extent of the damage would depend on how fast the aircraft was going when it left the runway. He said that the damage to the nose gear and probably, at the minimum, changing the brakes and tires on the main gear, plus a heavy inspection, will be quite costly. He added that if there's any flight control damage or lower fuselage repairs, this could rack up the repair costs very significantly. They're moving a digger in there. I guess maybe the digger is going to see if they can start digging some of the area free by the nose gear of the aircraft. So I wonder if that's what's planned. Would make sense. So that concludes my report on the Amazon / Cargojet 767 that ran off the runway today, November the 19th, 2024 here at Vancouver. Definitely look forward to reading your comments in this video, and hopefully we don't have to see this again here at Vancouver. It's not something that anybody ever wishes to see, but because it has happened, and I am here and able to report it, and aviation is my passion, and documenting aviation events here at Vancouver International Airport is something I've been doing for pretty much my entire life. That's why I'm here. So look forward to seeing you on the next video, and hopefully it will be under more positive circumstances than what we have here. If you're a fan of classic airliners, I'd like to tell you about my new book, Air Travel Time Machine, Kodachrome Memories 1942 to 1960. This book features over 600 images, spread over 300 pages. It's a hardcover book, coffee table photo book, and it takes you on a look back at air travel during the 1940s and 1950s. It is a fabulous look at air travel the way it was back in the good old days when passengers dressed up, behaved, and flew on classic airliners. I'll give you a little bit of a tour of the book. Basically, as you can see, it's very high quality print, and the images are not your standard sterile ramp shots. These pictures feature people. They show the scenery around the airport. They show people boarding airplanes. They show people engaged in travel and what it was like back in the good old days of the airlines. So this book features pictures that were taken by random travelers, and I spent the last 30 years collecting these images. These are all images which have never before been seen. So the book is organized. I'll just give you a quick showing of the contents. It's organized by year. We go from the piston era to the jet age, the start of the jet age. And The book is in limited production. I've only printed a small number of these books, and once they're sold out forever. So if this is a subject matter that you find interesting, I encourage you to check out my website where you can find more information about how you can order the book. You might want to act before the book is sold out, as I know that this book will be something that you will be interested in. I mean, look at these beautiful images. They're just really something else, aren't they? If you'd like more information or would like to order my book, I've posted a link in the upper right-hand corner, so you can just click on that and I'd be happy to receive your order. But don't wait too long because I've printed very limited numbers of these books. And once they're sold out, they will be sold out forever.